What up, everybody? How's it going? This is Gay Frog Chat, E Honda, all the people. What's up? Blah blah blah. What's up? We have the not gay frog here tonight. What's up, not gay?
I'm not gay.
I heard that you are gay though.
Only for the gay frog himself, but no one else.
That
makes us not happy. Gay together because you're gay. I'm not.
Well, I mean, you know.
I do.
It's like masturbation. Is that gay? I'm not sure.
It depends on how you look at it because I identify as a man-woman when I'm masturbating.
So that would be consensual sex.
With myself, correct.
Off the rails right from the get-go. What's up, Ohio Patriot?
Sounds like a lot of gay shit with extra steps.
Yep, there are no rails on this chat. I thought there could be rails, some sort of guide rails, but there are none.
Only hot rails. Ha ha.
Old McGinger has a farm. What's up, Ginger?
What's going on, guys?
It's the Ginge.
Oh, well, we haven't seen that guy in a minute.
How are you doing, man? I know things are not all good, but I hope you're doing good tonight.
I'm doing all right. Today wasn't bad. It was a good day. I got 2 new guns today, put a third one on layaway.
Oh, darn, man. You got more guns than Jesus. You know, Jesus said, if you don't have a sword, you should sell your cloak in order to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't really use swords in, you know, modern day. What would the modern day equivalent of a sword be?
Most likely a gun. That's what I would think.
Yeah, probably like an AR-15 or something.
Yeah, I got the new Ruger 1022, the 250th anniversary gun that's has a stainless steel and the synthetic stock that's painted blue, red, white, and blue.
Oh, that's cool.
I got an AR-15 pistol that's chambered at 7.62 by 39, and then I put a Chris Vector chambered at 45 ACP on layaway.
Dude, that's like the most, I don't know, gender confused ammo selection. You got 45 ACP, which won 2 world wars. And you've got 7.62 by 39, which is a communist round.
And then 22.
I wasn't even going to mention that. I mean, you know, everyone likes that. That's fine.
All right. I'm tempting to buy a trigger pack from Franklin Armory for it.
Why don't you, doesn't Night Strike make a 1022 something or other trigger pack?
I'm not sure if he does or not. I know he does AR and then Glocks. That's all I know.
I don't know. I would look at his stuff. I mean, certainly for your AR pistol anyway. You get one of them. Get one of them FRTs, man.
I've got one for my AR-15.
You already got your gall darn FRT.
Yeah, for the AR.
Do you know what we're talking about, Zarati?
Nope.
An FRT is what is known as a forced reset trigger, which is a definitionally way to get around the limits that they put on machine guns.
Right? Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So machine gun, basically like anything that is a machine gun is one single action of the trigger causes more than one round to come out of the barrel, right? And so
like a 3-round.
A forced reset trigger, what it does is it pushes the trigger forward for you so that your finger has to press it again. But if you just like equivalently like hold the trigger down, it just kind of like vibrates under your finger and keeps firing. So it turns into a machine gun effectively, efficiently.
Yeah, you squeeze the trigger, a round goes off. You let go of the trigger, a round goes off.
So you guys are the
that would be different. That'd be a binary.
Yeah.
That's a binary trigger.
I thought they all were basically the same thing, just named differently.
No. They like the forced reset trigger turns it into basically a machine gun, dude. It really does. I mean, I know I shouldn't say that online because like people will get the wrong idea, but no one watches my show, so it doesn't matter what I say.
The difference
Like-
being that you can actually override a forced reset if you do it quick enough
Ah,
and put it out of battery is what it is. Or make it a dead trigger, I should say. Whereas with an actual machine gun, it just keeps going.
Right. Well, a machine gun would have like a mechanism inside of it that would make sure that that doesn't happen versus a forced reset or even with a binary trigger. But actually, some of them have that thing too. So that, you know, we're not going to go there.
People talk about you guys all the time. They talk about you guys on the public broadcasting channel. You're the reason why they're going to take our guns away, essentially.
Dude, they're talking about me, the public broadcasting channel.
They're totally talking about you guys,
Bro,
like as a group.
we made it.
They're talking about you. Yeah,
We fucking
Yeah.
made it.
yeah.
You guys are
Honda,
trying to bypass the rules and the laws.
you've also been talked about in other circles too, you know, because of the Honda virus that's going around.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And then in the gay network, you're pretty popular. Just
Right.
saying.
Right. I mean,
I
there's
don't know
that.
how I know that, but
I mean, I know how you know that, but
Oh, this chat's already getting spicy.
So I went on a fucking crazy. Did you guys do anything cool today? Before I tell you about my cool thing that I did. Did anyone do anything cool today? Besides get guns. Guns is pretty cool. I gotta admit.
No, I that's all I did. Other than that, I went and picked up my sister's death certificates and check from them because they said I overpaid some, so they gave me some money back. So that's one reason how I got that AR pistol and 7.62 by 39.
I'm sorry, man. Actually, that was one of the things that I did today. Was my sister and my mom have benches with their names on them out in the woods near where I like to go riding. Like there's a bunch of trails around there, and I go riding there. And every time I go riding there, I stop by the benches. It's kind of a pain in the butt because we had to build the benches far enough away from everything so that they wouldn't get fucked with because it's technically on public land, you know.
Right.
And dude, I get there today and I don't know if they're having some sort of like anti-fire conservation type like work going on, but I haven't been there since last year. You know, I haven't been there like all winter. The roads are closed. You can't even go there in the winter.
Right.
And they went through with a bulldozer or something and took out like for every 10 trees, they bulldozed 9 of them down and smashed them into fucking toothpicks.
Damn.
And like the entire forest floor is just covered with fucking like a thin layer of dead wood from all the trees that they chopped down. And like it looks like they just like pushed them over with a fucking bulldozer and ran them over with the tracks until they were disintegrated. Like honestly, like I don't know what the fuck they did, but everything is destroyed. And everything was destroyed right where my sister and my mom's benches are. Like if they're far enough, like you got to park on the road, you know, and then you got to walk like 200 or 300 yards, like down a path to find their benches up resting against like a cliff face of rocks. Right? And everything was so destroyed when I got there that I couldn't even recognize the parking spot that I was supposed to park at to go to the trail to go walk to them.
Jesus, man, that's insane.
But I did. I recognized it, so I parked the bike and I got off and I like walked in the direction that the path used to be because the path was gone, you know. And thankfully, I was like relieved that the path, like the line of destruction stopped literally, I think, like 20 feet from where all their benches, you know, their benches
that's
are.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that they didn't fuck those benches up because
So
that would have pissed me off too.
I don't know if they saw them and they stopped, or
Probably.
if that was just the line they were going to stop at naturally, and they just, you know.
Just
Yeah, I
worked
went down
out.
there. I went down there, and it was pretty relieving to find that. So that was good.
That's good. Yeah, I plan on getting a bench to put at the foot of my mom and sister's grave because the way I buried my mom when she passed away in 22 is I bought the plot and I did a double depth. So when my sister passed, they would be buried in the same hole, essentially. So with that being, I bought a stone yesterday. I finalized it and paid almost $5,000 for it.
Jeez.
But it's got on one side my mom's name, date of birth, and date of death, and on the other side it's got my sister's since she passed away on the 27th of April. And it's got vases built in, but now I got to get a bench to put at the foot of it so we can have a place to sit.
Is it an upper thing, or is it just a slab of concrete, essentially?
No, it's usually a stone. Like for
Yeah,
that much money, it's a carved stone.
Yeah, it's
Like
granite.
polished
They call
carved.
it Bahama blue granite stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set on a concrete base. Like there's so many fucking regulations. I had no idea about setting headstones out there, but there's so many rules and regulations you have to follow. And hopefully the ground's stable now, because when they, dug the hole for my sister, we had a bunch of rain and stuff, and that hole was caving in badly. We almost fell in several times because chunks of dirt just kept giving away. So we almost all got married with my sister.
All right. Well, I was in a good mood. Thanks, Corey. Jesus.
No, I'm not saying that to bring the chat down or anything. I'm just talking.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because when my mom and dad are buried, they just have a concrete slab with their names on it.
Yeah, I could have done that, but I wanted something more because, like, above my mom's name, they're going to engrave the caduceus. That's the medical symbol. It's the rod with the snakes going around it. That's called a caduceus. And then for my sister, she loved movies and music, so she's going to have like a movie reel, like a strip of movie reel with a music note laying on top of it, so to represent what she like. I started to do Ghostface for her because she loves Scream, but my family fucking got so out of control, irate, pissed off because they were like, "Oh, that's demonic and evil. That looks like the Grim Reaper." I'm like, dude, it's the fucking Ghostface from the movie.
Bro, ultimately, whatever you guys end up doing, and this is always true. This is always true. Whatever you end up doing for them, it's for you. It really is. Because they're off flying, like they're doing things, you know what I mean? They're fucking riding dinosaurs on fucking rainbows on under waterfalls with fucking, like meteors and crazy shit going on and fireworks in the background and, like whatever you can think of.
Yeah.
Whatever they can think of is really what it is. So they don't care. They don't care about, I mean, they want you to be
like
happy.
4 hours away anyway.
They want
so
you to
hold
on. They want you to be happy. They want you to be good, I'm sure. But do they care if there's like a mausoleum in their name? No, they don't. Why would they? So it's for you.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna do it, but I got tired of hearing people whine and bitch and scream and shout and whatnot, and so I took the Ghostface off and went with the movie reel and music note. But yeah, I couldn't believe that they live like 4 hours away, so it's not like they're gonna see it ever. And now that my mom and sister are gone, they have no reason to contact me anymore, so I expect them to never hear from them again because they're assholes, to say the least. But yeah, that's what I kept telling everybody. I mean, it's for me, and people are going to know who that is. Now, 100 years from now, they may not know what that is. But I don't know. It turned out pretty. They're going to start engraving it and place it next month or so.
No, that's good, man. All right. Well, we do have a couple stories that I have curated for the show. Let me get to the beginning here. Let me actually scroll to the bottom. We'll work I always work in reverse order, and we end up like talking about stories from 2 weeks ago, like last. And then stories from like right now, like I don't know. Hold on.
Is there nobody commenting in the chat portion? Or is mine just messed up? I don't see anybody commenting.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I
I
see
see
that.
some.
It just, I guess nobody's really talking. On my end, it shows that there's only 4 people in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Really?
Yeah, 4 people in chat.
This says 22 people are watching.
Wow.
Maybe it's like 4 people who have signed in and have a account right now.
No, I see it. It's the studio chat. Yeah, it's the 4 of us in here. I'm stupid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, even still.
Dino. Sorry.
Anyway. So we've got Fauci advisor indicted. Oh, I'm not screen sharing, am I?
No.
I'm like some sort of an amateur here.
So immature-ish.
Shame on you.
So Fauci got pardoned by Biden. He got auto pen pardoned or whatever the case is for everything that he could have done illegal going back to like 1981 or something like that, like forever ago, until the day that he signed that thing, which by that point Fauci was already not doing stuff for the government anymore. So effectively Fauci is completely pardoned for any crime that he could have committed while he was working for the government. But his number one advisor was never pardoned by Biden. And so they've found, I guess, they've indicted him. And what does indicted mean? It means that they put evidence in front of a federal grand jury, and the federal grand jury came back and said that's enough evidence to convict somebody. That's all indicted means.
Yeah.
So does that mean that there's enough evidence to convict them in court when there's another set of lawyers arguing against the evidence? Not necessarily. So just because you get indicted for a crime does not mean that you're guilty. We have this thing in this country called innocent until proven guilty. So just because someone's indicted for crimes, again, but you also don't get indicted if there's no evidence that you committed a crime.
Right.
So you can't indict me for a murder if there's no evidence that I committed the murder. There's no evidence that I was even in the same state at the time the murder happened, et cetera, right? So they have to show some sort of evidence to get to that level of actually bringing forward the charges. But anyway, what did he get indicted for? Well, apparently it's for basically conspiring with Chinese government officials to do things that we weren't allowed to do anymore in the United States by law. It was weaponizing viruses, humanizing and turning viruses into pathogens that could be transmitted from human to human. And the reason that we were conspiring with Wuhan labs in China was because, again, there was a law that says you can't do that here anymore. So we're like, don't worry, we'll just outsource it. It's the same thing with like spying on American citizens. They can spy on American citizens as long as it's Sprint who's doing it, as long as it's your mobile carrier who's constantly checking up on your location, as long as it's Google who knows everything that you've searched online and reports in with the FBI and periodically to make sure that you're still online, you know? And then they've got these other technologies like Palantir and like the fucking cameras. What are they called? They fucking catch you speeding and stuff now. I don't know, dude. So all of that's privately owned so that they don't have to take accountability for it. So when you do a Freedom of Information Act, they have plausible deniability because they didn't technically break the rules. They didn't technically break the law. They didn't technically do any kind of human animal hybrid research type stuff with labs and germs and shit like that.
Whoa.
They sent it to China and they funded China so that China could do it, but they couldn't fund it directly, right? So how did they fund it? Oh, through USAID, through other charities and organizations that take government money and funnel it through them as intermediaries to then give to the lab in China. And this guy knows where all of the bodies are buried. He's in the emails. He's got his fucking fingerprints and his name on everything. And they've got him dead to rights. And then here's the other thing. Fauci got pardoned, which means Fauci cannot, if he is compelled to testify, plead the fifth. Because there is no crime that he could be convicted for beyond perjury in his testimony. So therefore, pleading the fifth is not an excuse. You must answer the question. Anyway.
But wasn't the pardon supposed to get reversed because of being auto-pinned? That they say it wasn't legitimate?
Well, so far that's not true. If they're trying to do that, it hasn't happened yet.
So what's the issue?
What do you mean?
What's the problem with what? I mean, what's the point of what you're saying? All that stuff happened with Fauci. Got it.
I'm just saying, like there was no way previously to go after anybody and hold anyone to accountable, and maybe we can't get to Fauci, even though, as Corey suggests, the auto pen thing could be reversed because it was signed by an auto pen and not actually Biden, and therefore, like, courts have to go look at that and see if that's actually applicable when it comes to pardons and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. So if that comes through and it turns out that they can reverse the auto pen, then that's a method of going after Fauci, who is probably the most guilty of anybody when it comes to all this stuff. But they got his number two guy, and his number two guy knows where all the bodies are buried, so he's got everybody else. So is that good enough?
Maybe.
Not really, but it's a start, and it's better than we've had so far.
Correct.
And it's, like a far cry from where we started, where I was getting YouTube strikes for talking about COVID being from a lab, possibly, before we even knew. And they're like, you can't say that. You can't say the YouTube strike. And then I have 28 people watching instead of fucking 150 or 200 like I used to. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Well, they proved that. So
yeah, well, I also got punished for saying it before it was proven, I guess.
They got everything in the what was in it was snake venom and some other stuff that definitely it was weaponized. So they have proof. They have it.
So the United Arab Emirates is leaving OPEC, and that's a very big deal. It honestly is. So OPEC, as you guys may or may not know, is a conglomerate of countries that get together and agree to basically fleece the world for oil prices by limiting how much they each produce and agreeing how much each country can produce behind closed doors so that they can only let out so much oil at a time, therefore not flooding the market, therefore keeping the price of oil higher, right? And that's outside of the Iran war. That's outside of anything that we do. You know what I mean? Like, that's their own form of method of control and power that they exercise as a conglomerate of countries. And it's the majority of the countries that produce oil besides us are in the OPEC countries, right? United Arab Emirates being one of them, who is in the process of finishing a oil pipeline that basically fucking goes around the Strait of Hormuz. So as you guys know, the Strait of Hormuz has been in conflict because of the Iran war and blah, blah, blah. And so they can't get oil around there without having huge problems, except when they finish this oil pipeline, ships will be able to port at the UAE within the Gulf without ever going through the strait, dump their oil in, have it piped over to the other side of the strait, right? In this map you see right here, where it can be picked up and then brought out with it. They just completely go around these guys. So that could be something that helps the price of oil in spite of the Iran war. Because when Iran got attacked, one of the things that I thought was kind of stupid that they fucking did was shoot off rockets at all of their neighbors. It's like, we're bombing them. Israel's bombing them. Why are they shooting rockets at the United Arab Emirates? Why are they shooting rockets at Oman? Why are they shooting rockets at Saudi Arabia? Why are they, you know what I mean? Like, they shot a bunch of rockets at everybody just because they had them and they could. And it didn't make sense, and it still doesn't make sense to me. It's like when you're playing fucking Risk, right? And I'm gonna attack Sean with like the majority of my troops. I don't also attack Ohio Patriot real quick just to piss him off. That way, when it's his turn, you know what I mean? Like, it's like bad strategy, but whatever. Anyway, so maybe that'll help with the oil prices. We'll see. We'll see if that
I hope
helps.
so. Fucking gas is outrageous right now. Some places around me, it's over $4. Diesel's over $5.
There's this post, and I thought it was interesting. Wild to watch journalists at the White House Correspondents' Dinner cower in the face of the violence they themselves instigated with their endless propaganda. They will learn nothing from this, of course. Food for thought. You have to love Tim Walz saying to his government that they were the first to recognize fraud in the Somali communities. Also food for thought. So Tim Walz, I guess, went on TV recently and said, oh, we found all of this fraud in the Somali community and we're cleaning it up. And we were the first ones to see it. Just lying through his fuck. Dude, that guy is such a clown. I'm sorry. I know he's your governor or whatever. Do you like him?
I just moved to the state, man. I don't know. You keep saying that stuff, but like the truth is, like, I just moved to the state. So I don't have enough information to know if I like him or not. He's stepping down. And I feel like him stepping down is more than enough for me to understand that he knows he fucked up. That's why he's stepping down, to help other people get into position to help, obviously, the Democrats get into a stronger position. So he's admitted his fault in a certain sort of way, and he's stepping down for a reason. So that's what I believe, and I'm not going to invest any time into that. As far as the gas prices going up, I mean, I think we have our commander-in-chief to blame for that. And, like, you know, we went to war, and it's fine. You can make war for 90 days. That's fine. But after that 60, 90-day process, like, you know, you still got to go to Congress. And the people didn't have a chance to vote on that. They didn't have a chance to say their piece on that. And so there's only one person to blame. One, for tariffs. Two, you know, this thing with China is pretty big. China's going around the United States, buying their own land and putting their own factories up, their own stuff up in our nation, and then selling it. And we're giving them all kinds of subsidies, and that's coming from our federal government. That's our commander in chief who's doing that. That's not a government.
What are you talking about in there?
Well, I'm talking about the fact that China has like a back door into the United States. They can buy property and they can produce things just like Somalia. China's doing it all over the place. They're buying all kinds of territories. They're buying all kinds of bridges and roads. They're buying infrastructure. They're producing cars. They're doing all kinds of things within our government, and they're getting subsidies from the federal government to do that. So that's it. I think we're talking about Minnesota, and that's like the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you're talking about China's invaded us and getting money from us to pay for their own ventures. Meanwhile, we're paying tariffs on our goods, and it's ridiculous. Like, and then the whole war thing.
Hold on. You made
well,
like.
Yes, let me throw one more thing out there. So
bring it on.
Okay, so we went to war. I don't care what you want to call it. We went to war, and we've now surpassed 60 days, and we still have not gotten any approval from Congress. We're violating what our government was set up to do in the first place, and we have nobody else to blame but President Trump. So I've got two more things against him. I'm not going to say them. I want to wait. But that is the bottom line. Is the price of gas is his fault, nobody else's fault.
Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it for sure. And you might be right. You might absolutely be right. I might be wrong about this because there's no way to prove a negative, right? There's no way to prove that things would have happened in a way if he hadn't done things. So the idea is that he stopped a nuclear war, right? If we are to believe what transpired, and if we're to believe the intelligence agencies, and we're to believe Israel and their intelligence that they have, and maybe you guys don't, maybe there's good reason not to. Fair enough. We don't know either way, though. Either way, we don't know. We don't have that information. We're not insiders. We don't actually know. So you don't know. I don't know. We both don't know whether or not this information is true.
Can we not vote on it now that we've passed the 60-day mark?
Well, hold on. Let me bring it home real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So the idea is that Trump is responsible for the higher price of oil. But the counter to that would be, no, the people in Iran who have been working for decades to build up infrastructure and defenses and rockets and materials to build nukes got to the point where they were scary fucking close to having that. It's their fucking fault. And Trump stopped a nuclear war when he fucking came in and bombed the shit out of them, both a couple of months ago and recently. Now, as far as the 60 days thing, I don't know, man. Like, when's the last time we declared a war? Korea?
Well, I mean, I'm not
World War II. It's been World War II or Korea. It's one of the two. Because it wasn't Vietnam. How long were we in Vietnam for?
12 years, I think.
Longer than that. It was like
14.
15. Yeah. Never declared war there. How long were we in Iraq and Afghanistan for?
Over 20.
Never declared war there. So I don't know, bro. I'm not a lawyer. I just know that we haven't declared war since like World War II or Korea. I'm not sure which one. So, yeah, that's the way it should work. Yeah, like to go to Vietnam and like all the people who died in Vietnam. And by the way, think about this. Here's another weird point. How many U.S. soldiers died in Vietnam?
Oh my God. Fuck ton. I don't remember the exact number, but I know it was a lot.
I think it's like 70,000.
That sounds about right.
How many people die of fentanyl overdoses in the United States every year under Biden?
Probably triple that number.
Over 100,000. How many are dying of fentanyl overdoses this year?
No clue.
Something like 50,000. So he's cut it in half.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, but whatever. It's fine. I'm pointing out like these facts that are things that bother me and things that need to be addressed.
Bro, and you might be right, and I might be wrong, because neither of us know. There are factors and there's information that have direct effects on the results that we're seeing that neither one of us have any answers for. And we kind of have to like have faith in Trump's a piece of shit or he's not, we kind of have to have faith in like the information that the FBI has given us is factual or not. We have to give, you know what I mean? Like there's just things that you have to decide whether you believe them or not.
Sure. I don't know if I know what you mean in the fact that, like, I'll give you another, for instance here. And it's not about like pointing, okay, well, there's the fentanyl thing. That's that's apples and oranges. They're two different things. They don't relate. So my problem with the government is this. My problem with, the White House is this. Well, here's the other thing. Okay. Initially, the ballroom was going to be something that was going to be privately funded. Okay. This is billions of dollars that we're spending to build this ridiculous ballroom bunker for no reason whatsoever other than to appease this guy. And here's
Hold
the
on
deal.
right there. Hold on right there. No reason whatsoever is not.
So hold on before you interrupt. No reason whatsoever in the simple fact that we have people in our country who are struggling to eat, struggling to pay their bills, struggling to survive. We've erased. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if Biden ruined things. We should have gone on the right path to get things fixed. And that's what I was pulling on. That's why I was in Trump's side. Hey, he's my president. I'm going to back him until he proves me wrong. Well, here you go. Now he's trying to get this to be funded by the people, by us, instead of by these private funds. And so it's like we're already hurting. I'm already hurting. I already can't pay my bills. You can't pay your bills. We can't pay for gas. And here we are spending $1 billion on a ridiculous ballroom. It is absolutely absurd. No American in their right mind, other than the rich, are like, oh, yeah, let's build a ballroom. We're never going to see the ballroom.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you've gone long enough. So why is the ballroom necessary? Anybody?
It's not.
I don't see why it is.
Thank you.
You guys are wrong.
Okay.
Well, it ain't the first time I'm wrong, but can you elaborate on why we're wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course I can. So there was recently an attack at the press. What do they call that? The
Correspondence dinner.
Yeah, the White House Correspondence Dinner, because it's at some hotel because they don't have a place to have stuff like that. They don't have a place to bring foreign dignitaries. They don't have a place to bring like the White House and the press corps in to have a fucking, like their annual thing that they do. That's not secure. They don't have a place to do it that's not secure. Because what if that guy, like fucking dumbass, whatever, had a gun, shot a guy in the chest who's wearing a vest, no one got hurt. Amazing, right? What if instead he had a fucking huge ass bomb on him and he ran past as far as he could get in and hit the fucking trigger on the bomb? You've got the president, you've got the vice president, you've got like the entire like line of succession for the government all in one place at one time. That's a huge fucking target. And to not have a place that you can have events like that, because as a country, you're going to have events like that. Right?
You're making an excellent point, Honda. I'm not discounting that.
Well, I'm not done yet, though. Because also, by the time that this is done and over with, Trump's not even going to be in office. He's not even building something that he's going to be able to use for himself. It's going to be for maybe like the last little bit of his presidency, but it's going to be there for every president moving forward after that. So he's not even doing it for himself. Now I'm done.
I would counter argument on this whole thing. The fact that you do not have the Secret Service being properly funded, and that's 100% Congress being the problem. They're not funding them because they'd rather fuck around and do a bunch of bullshit and play fucking kids games. Then you also have the fact that when you actually look at what even allowed this attack to happen, it was lax security of Secret Service agents that night. You had the guy with the dog following this motherfucker into the room, didn't just unleash the dog on him right there. That dog could have stopped that whole thing in like 5 seconds. He pulled the dog back, guy runs out. 10, 12 guys, not even paying attention. One dude out of the 10 or 12 people that were there that night that were security was actually paying attention, was not able to pull his sidearm quick enough. Had they actually had AR pistols or something, he could have pulled that firearm up and smoked that guy's ass right then and there. So it's a lack of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But it's also lack of a facility that made it possible for that attack to even happen in the first place.
No, I mean, you make
illustrating the point.
And then I guess that's Zarate, right? The other guy in here?
Yeah,
Zarate, you made a good point too. Y'all both make great points. I mean, I guess to see a need for it, but don't we already have other places set up so where it's secure like that? I mean,
no, we don't.
Like the White House or
Can I ask a question?
Capitol building?
relating to what you're saying, can I ask a question there? I mean, Honda's right. We don't have a place because the White House doesn't have a place big enough to do a dinner like that. That's why they have it at other places. But this is basically the first year that anything like this has ever happened where a president has been, the dignitaries have been attacked like this. We've had comedians and other ones. We've had we've had this situation go on in every presidency up until now in the modern day and have never had an issue until now. So I feel what you're saying. And I think that maybe he built it out of fear for his own life. And I don't know, but I'm done. I've said my piece. You told me I had enough time, but again,
well, I mean, for the point that you were making right there.
Yeah. The need to me isn't justified with all the people struggling. It just seems like the government doesn't really care.
Well,
about us.
I'll say two more things on it and I'll be done, and you can say whatever you want or whoever else can too. But number one, this was something that both Trump and prior administrations have been talking about the need for before there was an attack, right? And then there was an attack that happened. I was talking about the attack as illustrating the reason for why it's needed. And then number two, as far as billions of dollars or however much it's going to cost, yeah, it's a lot of money. And yeah, that sucks. And yeah, there's people who need stuff. But when you look at the total budget of the United States, it's a drop in the ocean. It really is.
True. Very true.
So that's it. That's all I got.
It reminds me of the shooting that took place at the ball field when it had all the representatives and stuff there. But they were out in the open, so I mean,
why do they keep trying to kill Trump?
Out in the open.
I mean, there's been 3 attempts that we know about, right? 4 if you count the Iranian one.
Right.
Because there was an Iranian plot that was foiled.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
I think it goes bigger, personally. Think about it. If you kill Trump in the middle of what we're going through right now with the war and everything else, let's say you do kill him. Well, that gives a good reason to put the country on a lockdown and say, hey, we got to lock things down. We got to have,
martial law.
We got to do martial law. So I feel like it's a bigger picture thing where they don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. They're just trying to get their point across and lock down the world, while killing all of us, halflings, and that's what I think personally.
Well, and that's the thing though, because when you look at the average leftist person that's trying to do this shit though, they don't even see that bigger picture. The ones that are actively advocating for it to happen, they have no fucking clue what they're going to unleash on this nation if that actually would succeed.
Right.
Because they don't think more than 1 or 2 steps ahead is what it is at max. And that's the problem. But on top of that, though, going back to what you were saying about the gas tax because of the Iran war and stuff like that, gas prices because of the Iraq war. It's not even that even. It's every sitting governor is also to blame that keeps gas taxes in place right now. Like here in Ohio, it's over $4 here. And it's because we have a 50-something plus cent gas tax that piece of shit Mike DeWine could suspend at any given time if he wanted to, but refuses to do so. And he went on camera like a week ago and said that.
Yeah, I'll agree.
And that's a big problem. Like you could give Americans relief if you gave a shit, but you don't because you're a piece of shit governor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no reason gas should be as expensive as it is right now.
And that's why Walz is just as bad as any other governor. right there, you got it right on the head. Why are we paying luxury tax on things that we want to do? I'm sorry. If I want to drink and I want to smoke, why do I have to pay an absorbent tax on it? Because you want me to be healthy? Bullshit. If you wanted me to be healthy, you wouldn't be serving me, cookies and crackers with all kinds of food coloring and poison in it. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let me smoke my cigarettes. Leave me the fuck alone and fix my food.
Bro, I wonder how much shit we're dealing with and just our natural day-to-day lives that are probably worse for us than cigarettes.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell, food isn't healthy anymore.
We're surrounded by it. You eat at McDonald's, bro. It's like smoking a pack a day. If you eat McDonald's a couple times a week, it's like smoking a couple packs a week. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
There was a doctor some years back now that did a study with his son and had his son eat McDonald's for, I think it was a week or so, maybe 2 weeks or something. And he did his gut bacteria before and after it. And just to show how bad it is, it basically destroyed like almost all this kid's good gut bacteria.
Jeez, I believe it.
Although, have you ever heard about the Twinkie diet?
No.
No.
So there was this scientist who wanted to prove that you could eat Twinkies and lose weight. The only thing is you'd have to eat an amount of Twinkies that has a caloric intake lower than the amount of energy that you use on a daily basis. So basically you can eat 2,000 calories worth of Twinkies, which is like 5 Twinkies a day, you know? So if the only thing you eat is 5 Twinkies a day, you'll actually lose weight. And so he did this study where for like, it was like 1 month or 3 months or something like that, where they had someone only eat Twinkies and nothing else. And that's all he got to eat, but it was a certain amount. And at the end of it, he lost weight. And they were like, wow, that's amazing. Now let's do his blood work and stuff. And the weird thing was every metric that they looked at had improved.
Yeah.
Like apparently if you just eat 5 Twinkies a day. I have to find the study, dude. It was crazy.
Would that replace, apple a day keeps the doctor away? Eat 5 Twinkies?
I don't know if the study was whatchamacallit replicable.
Yeah, not like the Onion or whatever.
Not reputable, but repeatable.
Right. I understand.
Like if someone else, because like you're kind of putting someone's health in danger, and you need, like a volunteer who's like, anyway.
I did intermittent fasting with just drinking Bud Light Platinum, which is 6% versus the 5%, and I basically spent most of the day, but most of the time I was able to eat drinking Bud Light, and then I'd have like one small meal a day, and I actually lost a ton of weight doing that, but I wasn't the healthiest guy on the other end. But I lost 40 pounds doing that.
What do you think about Jimmy Kimmel mocking or like telling a joke about Trump getting killed? Or what was it about Melania being an expected widow or something?
I didn't hear that, but fuck Jimmy Kimmel. He's a piece of shit. He's a violent.
No, go ahead. Yeah. It wasn't him to get murdered. It was for him because the age gap. It was an age gap joke. And I think most people who don't hate Jimmy Kimmel understand that. Like, I think I got it, definitely, being that I've dated, way younger than myself. Like, you expected widow because the age difference is so huge. It wasn't meant that, oh, he's going to die soon. Like, that's not, I don't think that's what Kimmel meant. And he came out and said that. But
I mean, I can see that if that's the truth, but I know Jimmy Kimmel is a huge leftist retard.
Okay, well, here's this.
Well, what was the context of the joke? Do you know? I'm not sure.
I don't know because I haven't heard the joke. So
she has a smile of a expected widow, is what he said. Look at Melania there with the smile of an expected widow, and it was basically like, because she's basically robbing the grave and he's robbing the cradle, in other words, is what he said he meant by that. But on the other end of that, the other spectrum of that, why is Donald Trump the only president to give one rat's ass shit about what freedom of speech is being said by anybody like that? I mean, no other every president's been made fun of by Jimmy Kimmel. Every president's been made fun of by all these guys, and nobody cares. But Trump can't handle being made fun of. Like, that's not really, it's not presidential. It's pretty much a turnoff, like, in every possible way. Like,
well,
you should just let shit like that roll off your back. I mean, because there's a lot of shit that's been said in the chats over the years.
Right.
I let roll off my back, or because I could have got pissed off or not.
I'm kind of not okay with people making jokes about like Trump getting murdered or
Yeah.
you know, and like I recognize that there's freedom of speech in this country, so I'm not like trying to do anything about it. But
Right.
I just find it in poor taste. Like saying that Melania is an expected widow. Like, what's the punchline there? Like, what's supposed to be funny about that? I don't understand. Like,
Yeah, I don't
get
think that's
it.
funny.
And if the shoe is on the other foot, let's say, and this is a good test for whether your logic is actually, what's the word? Consistent, right? Is, let's say that it was some sort of a right-wing comedian, like, I don't know, like, name a right-wing comedian. I can think of one.
I don't know. The
I don't
actual
think there
quote
are
was,
any.
she had the glow of an expectant widow, not
Yes.
smile. That's what they're saying out in the chat. Sorry.
Like Crowder, right? Like Crowder gets on his show and makes a joke while Biden's in office about someone assassinating him somehow. And I'm not saying that that's what Kimmel's joke was. Maybe he is saying that, oh, it's an age gap thing. But in light of how many attempts have there been on the president's life since he's been in office, saying that he's an expected widow, that she's an expected widow, my mind doesn't go to age gap. I'm sorry. My mind goes to, you guys are calling for it.
Mm-hmm.
And my point earlier about why do people keep trying to kill Trump? I don't think I ever got a chance to answer what my thought is. And my thought is that the people who are trying to kill Trump have been programmed to think that Trump is some sort of an existential threat, that he's like Hitler, and you're strangling baby Hitler with his own umbilical cord, and that's the good thing to do, right? And like it's justified because you're killing Hitler. Like that's what they've been they didn't come up with this. This thought is not from their own head. They did not think of this shit themselves. It was put in their fucking head by propaganda, by the mainstream media, and by fucking social media and all these other things that come together and fucking goddamn impregnate people's minds with shit that they didn't fucking think of themselves. And then they think that they did because everyone wants to take fucking ownership for their own fucking thoughts, right? Like, oh, those are my thoughts. And no, you heard that shit and you fucking liked it. You didn't fucking think of it your fucking self. You heard it and you liked it and you said, yeah, he is like Hitler. I'm gonna stop him, right? That's exactly what the fucking is going on, dude. They didn't fucking think of this themselves. It was put in their head. Who was responsible for this? The people who put that shit in their head. Who was at the fucking White House Correspondents' Dinner? The people who put this idea in the people's head who are trying to kill him while they're cowering under the fucking table. That's what's going on, dude.
And that's one point of view, man. Like, that's one point of view. Because there's other points of view out there, and some of them are that it was staged and that it wasn't real. And if you look at where the threat was, for instance, the other person in the room who said, hey, the security wasn't there. Why wasn't the security there? I mean, that goes to show you the laxness of just the security itself. Like it's the same thing with the assassination where he got clipped in the ear. Like, get out of here. How on earth did they not see that? He was on a government building in a police station and they didn't see him. Get out of here. That
one I kind of agree with. Like, I feel like there was a deep state attempt to take out Trump. Because, like, here's another one with that whole situation. Like, what do we know about that kid? What do we know about him to this day?
Same thing we knew when it first happened.
Nothing.
When they went to his house to get evidence, there was a news report, and I don't know if this is true. Who fucking knows? But the news report said at the time that his house had been scrubbed. Like someone had gone through, they removed all of the silverware and the plates and the cups in the house. Like there was nothing there. There wasn't hairs. There wasn't DNA. There was nothing. Someone went through that house and scrubbed it like they were getting ready for a forensic fucking test. And we know nothing about him. And everyone looked the other way. And the police told Secret Service, and Secret Service did nothing, and Secret Service was supposed to have people on the roof, and they did nothing, and they didn't have them on the roof because it was too slanted. Right? Like all of this shit. I agree with you on that one, dude. But I think that the conspiracy isn't like, if you ask people from a certain point of view what the conspiracy is there, it's like, well, you know, the conspiracy was with the shooter that said that because Trump was going to gain power, they wouldn't have got elected if it wasn't for that shot with his fist in the air saying fight, fight, fight. And that was a staged photo. Like, okay, we have a special room with pads in it for you that you can stay in so that you don't hurt yourself. That's my response to the person who says that. Here's a padded room. But yeah, as far as like the conspiracy is like a Lee hop is what they call it. A let it happen on purpose. Like they knew that the guy was there. But then also there's supposedly photos of this kid who went to a shooting range, right? Like the shooting range, like by law, has to keep the data for so long or whatever of everyone who's been there, just in case things like this happen. So somewhere on a database somewhere is that kid at a shooting range, presumably with other people. Who was he at the shooting range with? Where did he learn how to shoot like that? You know, like where did he get the gun from? Where did he, you know, all of these questions that are going on with that whole situation that are still unanswered. We still know nothing about him. We don't know his politics. We don't know, you know, there's no social media posts. There's no profiles. There's nothing. So all things point to inside job on that one, as far as I'm concerned. And Trump just happened to tilt his head, and they're like, damn it, he missed, and they took him out. Fuck. We can't let him talk about what happened. I mean, same thing with Lee Harvey, dude. You got to take out Lee. That's the first rule of assassination. That is the first rule of assassinations, is kill the assassin, because he knows where all the bodies are buried, and he's caught dead to rights, and he's got all the reasons in the world to fucking throw everyone else under the bus. So you got to get rid of that guy, if anything. You can't let that. And like, maybe the guy who got the guy, like, well, you know, there could be reasons for that, and that could be explained away, and maybe you only get a couple of years because the guy who killed Kennedy, you killed the guy who killed Kennedy. That's not that bad, right? I mean, like, Jesus, I would have done that. So you're not getting the book thrown at you for doing that. So you're getting, not, you know, like, there's certain fucking ways of looking at things that maybe I'm wrong again, but. And sorry for the crash out earlier. There's
been discussions for decades if Jack Ruby was not Lee Harvey Oswald's handler.
Well, there should be discussions today about who the fuck this kid is, where the fuck, you know, like, what was he doing? What was his manifesto? What was his ideology? Why was he there? What was his motivation? Something, you know, where did he get his training? How did he fucking learn what he learned? Who were his parents? How were they involved or not involved or whatever? Why do we know nothing about them?
If it is a deep state thing, which it probably is, the fact is that, one, get off of Jimmy Kimmel. Two, like, the people that are trying to get rid of Trump are doing it because he's not giving into that giant agenda that's been put before him. He's doing his own thing, and they don't like that. They want a president who's gonna be like Biden, who's gonna be like, oh, okay, let's just do this. Oh, you guys want to open borders in this way and do it this way? Cool, let's do that. He doesn't really have a backbone. Trump does have a backbone, and he does live by his beliefs, and he wants to do the things he wants to do. So I think he's too sensitive to care about what Jimmy fucking Kimmel says. But that being said, I think that he is doing things to protect the American people. I really do believe that. And I believe that that's why they're trying to get rid of him, is because they need to get rid of him in order to prevent his ideals from spreading and going into, going on. Like, I think he's trying to prevent something that's real. I really do. And I would even take the Epstein files out of it, even though I don't want to. I would even take that away and say, hey, Donald Trump really does want something good for the country. And he's not just following the pattern that's set before him to do and say, oh, okay, well, I'm the president. I've got to do these things, and then I can live my life however I want. And so I do believe that there is that deep state thing going on where he's not living up to what their agenda is. Therefore, they're trying to get rid of him. But that's just my opinion.
Even to go further into the deep state thing of Thomas Crooks is this latest guy in the ballroom or at the correspondence dinner, because it was like 2 hours and we knew almost everything about this dude. And within a day, he has a manifesto and everything else like that.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. And then if you just watch the video of him coming in and just, I mean, how can it be? They can't be that idiotic. And if they are, why are we paying the Secret Service this kind of money? And we need to replace them. Donald Trump needs to replace them immediately because they're not doing their job.
Well, I mean, fair enough. And yeah, like they probably, I don't know, dude.
Post those videos. It's crazy to watch them. Run.
Yeah, I know. He ran by like a fucking like Naruto sprinting. Like
yeah. It's so obvious. He's just like, oh, here I come. Like,
oh, here's videos of them trying to kill Trump. You want me to pull it up? Here you go. Oh, dang it. Why is it all blue? Unblue. Okay, here we go. Here's the videos of them trying to kill Trump. Here we go.
Hey, watch your sea legs, mutant.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Yeah, it's...
They just can't get him.
I don't believe it. How did you get here?
Yeah, like a stupid question, Duro. How did I get here?
Will you just tell me?
Anyway, thought that was funny. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says he believes Cole Allen fired one round from his Mossberg Maverick 88 with ATI top folding stock at the White House dinner. Good old Maverick 88, first choice of the budget-minded assassin. Yeah, he used a Mav. 150% higher chance of cancer from pesticide exposure. So if you have any kind of pesticide exposure, especially over time, it bioaccumulates, and you have 150% chance of higher cancer across the board.
all right.
Yeah. So organic food is probably a good idea.
Have you guys ever sniffed at one of the batteries that's inside of our phones or inside of a tablet?
Yeah, it smells weird.
It does. I would be inclined to say it gets you a little high.
Oh, bro, I saw I forgot about this. I did that big ride today. And on my way home there was a big ass fire, and I like pulled over and it was a backhoe, like a track hoe, like a big ass one. Caught on fire and burned up. And I've got video of like the fire department showing up and putting out the fire. It's actually kind of crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I can pull that up too if you want. Maybe.
Or not nice because of the fire.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone got hurt. Someone probably got written up. Here, actually, let me do that. That'll be fun. I'm not sure which video it is, though, so bear with me for a second. I think it's probably this one. Nope, the one before it. Oh, here we go. I found it. All right. Boom. And we'll go back over here and we'll go to this thing and we'll stop sharing there and we'll start sharing here in this way with that audio on this thing and go. Is it choppy at all or is it playing all right?
It's all right.
It's fun.
Okay. So you see this smoke. I'm like, holy shit.
camera's weird. It keeps looking at you.
It's got anti-vibrate, so it actually records a much wider lens than that. But when I move around, it doesn't shake around because it like uses the frame within the frame. If that makes sense. So you can see my head moving around, but
Can we get closer?
it kind of shows the effect of it.
Right now.
Look at this thing. And they came in and started putting it out.
Just some backhoe burning.
Bro, and then I got bored of this and I like rode away and I went through that cloud of smoke. It smelled so fucking bad, bro. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled. Anyway, so that happened today.
Nice.
The fire is so cool.
Now we're going to go stop screen share, and then we're going to screen share this again because we're doing a chat. All right, cool. So yeah, that was a cool little intermission. Now something completely different. Hey, 11 World Wars, everybody.
11 World Wars?
11.
Dang.
Yeah, because Ileana Omar got on TV and she was talking about something to do with, I don't know what, but she was talking about World War II and she was reading off a card or something. And World War II is always World War Roman numeral 2. Anyway.
It's a good old quality Leering Center.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, what's up with the alien files? Anybody look at any of that fun stuff?
I have a little bit. I haven't really had a chance to go deep into it. I was kind of waiting because, like, the way that these mass drops go, it's you gotta kind of wait for people to go through it to find like the good shit before you can fuck. Because I'm not gonna go through those files. You know, it's like I don't got time for that shit. But someone out there does, and by the time they're done, then I'll have a show about it, which will probably be next week.
The interviews are interesting with the people that are involved. They're weird the way they talk about it. So so definite. Like, oh no, they're definitely people from the future. They're humans from the future, and it's like, okay, all right, so weird, but okay.
Well, I mean,
what if they are humans from the future? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, as opposed from them being aliens because, you know, you can't leave the flat Earth, so they're time travelers from the future. I don't know. It's interesting. There's some interesting things in there.
I've thought about that. Like the aliens from the future would be like the Greys. Like they don't have any hair anymore, and their bodies are all frail and small, and their heads are all giant, and their mouths are tiny, and they probably don't really talk very much because they just like think things, and the things that they think go to the things that you think, and then things are thinking with the thoughts.
Yeah, and the agreements to use our bodies to what do you call it? Like is like to make hybrid people aliens.
Well, the idea there would be that like there's some sort of a genetic breakdown because of the advanced like genetics of the aliens. They can only go so far, and they're starting to have like reproductive problems and things like that, and they can only clone each other so many times before that starts breaking down. So they need fresh DNA and fresh materials. So you abduct some young females, let's say, and you put seeds inside of them.
Sure, yeah.
There's been discussions and debates for a while now too, as well, about possibility of it being demons.
Hey, what's going on?
There's a lot of these creatures that you will have you'll have people be abducted by them, and as soon as they start saying either "Our Father" or "Hail Mary" or something like that, it'll start to back these things off. So,
yeah, I've heard that. That's crazy, dude. Like in the middle of like an alien abduction, you start saying like "Our Father who art in heaven" or something. And the aliens get scared and run away. Like that wouldn't work if they're aliens.
I mean, it would also make sense given that we know of like 9-dimensional planes, and we can only stay in 4 of them. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 that could have things on them as well. that could potentially be some of these demonic entities, if that be the case as well.
Right. It'd be heaven and hell and purgatory, and it just fits right in with Christianity again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you hear the interesting one about Islam and the Antichrist?
No, tell me that one.
I saw one. I was watching Facebook Reels here recently, and it was about a week or half.
That's
ago
where you get the truth.
It was. Well, I want to preface that just because of the thing. So anyway, it was this dude that was like a priest or a pastor or something like that, talking about various things with like the second coming of Jesus Christ, and then what apparently Islam's books are is what it is there, and how their second coming of Christ would essentially be the Antichrist, and it would be them slaughtering, like, I think it was like 300,000 or 700,000 Jews and stuff like that after that, and like a lot of crazy shit. But yeah, it all fits with like the Pale Rider and the Pale Horse and all that stuff like that.
Well, the four horsemen are the same colors as all of the countries of the 1040 window. If you look at like Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, and all Saudi Arabia, all of those, the four countries that have those colors of the four horsemen, supposedly they're the ones that are to bring the apocalypse. They are the four horsemen. So
yeah, I think that's what this was talking about as well.
Yeah, I saw that too. I read that too. It was interesting. I've seen it from a couple different points too. Kind of weird, but
I think it's kind of funny. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, just off the topic of like unreal things, did you know that dolphins apparently share pufferfish to get high? Like, so they know that they can.
Yeah. I did know this. Yeah.
That's crazy. And so
Yeah.
they'll inject it and share it and get high off the pufferfish. So that makes them the only other species that seeks getting high for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a kind of fruit in Africa that ferments on the vine, and then when it falls to the ground, it's like basically fucking, it's like wine inside of the fucking fruit, effectively. And all of the elephants know where to go and what time of year and what the fruit is, and they go there and they fucking basically effectively cultivate the plant by like eating them and then like pooping them out later, because I guess it needs something to do with their particular digestive system to like propagate. So the elephants do it too. The elephants get drunk, but it's like an annual thing for them. But then all the animals come by and fucking grab a little piece of fruit too, to be honest. Like all the monkeys and shit.
That's cool.
Deer also, good.
A deer around my neighborhood, around my yard, they apparently can't process watermelon seeds. So they fed them watermelon last year, and they've gone around my yard and pooped. So I'm finding watermelon plants all over right now. Fucking
Bro,
cool.
watch this guy. Balls of fucking steel. So, for reference, there is some sort of a standoff going on. This is in the UK, so the police don't know what to do about stuff. But he's got a gun in the car with a hostage. It's the mom or the girlfriend or something. I don't know. But bro just comes by. He's like, yoink. Problem solved, bitch.
And he's like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah, I got nothing. I guess you're still in a fucking 3,000-pound vehicle.
Man. No, he gave up.
He gave up. All right. Do you guys want to talk about this one? I made a huge post when I was upset the other day. I'll just read it. Here's what's on my mind. Yes, I voted for Trump. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. I support our friends in Israel. I support our actions in Iran. I am pro-ICE, and I was a coin flip away from being January 6th. George Floyd died of an overdose. Trans kids deserve our protection, not hormone blockers and surgery. The tariffs are, in the long run, going to be fantastic for the American economy, even in spite of short-term it causing some pain. Yes, there are huge problems with our election systems that need to be fixed if the American people are going to trust the results. Yes, we need to deport every single immigrant who is here who is not following the law. Tim Walz is a criminal and should be in prison. Yes, the media is the enemy of the people, and I can back every single one of those up with facts, reasoning, and evidence. Not a cult. No one told me to think these things. I think for myself, and here's the problem. I know many of you don't believe that last part. Or you support you support Israel, therefore you're a Zionist, or support the war in Iran and are okay with killing children, or most of January 6th, therefore you're an insurrectionist. I can go on and on and on. There's nuance to everything, and when you assume and jump to conclusions, you are painting me with colors that I do not use. But here's the bottom line. Trump is not a fascist or a Nazi, and calling him that over and over again without facts but feelings, you are putting a target on the back of Trump and every person who's openly supporting him. There have been 3 targeted attempts. They killed Charlie, and you guys cheered. When Biden was in office, he did lots of things that, in my opinion, took huge steps to destroy the United States as we know it. Did I advocate for his assassination of the sitting president? No. Why? Because that is insane. And yet here we are listening to people justify any excuse the actions of some fucking retard with a gun. I will answer any questions. No one asked any questions to that whole thing.
Really?
Not one.
Wow, I'm surprised nobody blew that up and at least called you out or cussed you out or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
You're shadow banned.
Well, I don't pay for a check mark on Twitter. That does something to help you or whatever, but
Yeah, it allows us to go to the algorithm more is what it is.
Bombshell, vax versus unvax study sees the light of day and results are staggering. Dr. Marcos Zeros led study, but he decided not to publish it because publishing something like that might as well retire and he'd be finished. Listen to this real quick.
Publishing something like that, I might as well retire. I'd be finished.
I mean, I'm just curious. What in this data makes you think it will be as catastrophic to your career as you think?
What was he so afraid of? The study was a bombshell.
18,468 subjects, 1,957 of them were fully unvaccinated. When comparing the health outcomes of the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, they found an increased risk in the vaccinated of several chronic health conditions. The vaccinated subjects were over 4 times more likely to have an asthma diagnosis.
4.29 times in the adjusted. And that seems, I've looked at a lot of studies, that's 3.26 to 5.65.
They also found 3 times the risk for atopic diseases,
which is kind of a subset of allergic diseases.
They found a almost 6 times risk for autoimmune disease.
The autoimmune diseases this paper looked at include thrombocytopenic purpura, rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, MS, multiple sclerosis, and Guillain-Barré syndrome. They mentioned there are over 80 different autoimmune diseases, and what their data showed for autoimmunity, 6 times increase in those who got vaccines
6 times
when compared to the unvaccinated.
Which is staggering because autoimmune disorders really represent significant morbidity and health costs and suffering, accrued over a lifetime.
Neurodevelopmental disorders.
What kind of numbers are we talking about? Do you remember?
5.5 times risk for neurodevelopmental disorders.
We know that the immune system
ADD,
is
ADHD.
intimately connected with both brain development and brain functioning. And so when the immune system gets triggered by illness, potentially by vaccination, you can get neuropsychiatric symptoms, presumably related to brain inflammation and, immune processes in the brain.
2.92 times the amount of motor disabilities, 4.47 times the amount of speech disorders in the vaccinated compared to the unvaccinated.
3 times the rate of developmental delay.
They found the same things I found related to allergy and autoimmunity. Also, 6 times more acute and chronic ear infections.
Interestingly, there were
kid.
several
I
health
did too.
conditions where they couldn't even do this analysis because there were none in the unvaccinated group. The way that the mathematical formulas work, you can't have a 0 in any one group and be able to compare risk.
For example, there were 262 children who had ADHD in the vaccinated group. Amongst the unvaccinated group, there were 0 cases of ADHD. 0.
These ones are just mind-boggling. These conditions were not found at all in almost 2,000 unvaccinated kids. 0 brain dysfunction, 0 diabetes, 0 behavioral problems, 0 learning disabilities, 0 intellectual disabilities, 0 tics, and 0 other psychological disabilities in the unvaccinated.
Like, that's so huge. Think about how many kids these days have some sort of a neurodevelopmental problem or disability, or, it's like, I don't know what the percentage is, but it seems pretty high. It seems like a lot of kids. Like, okay, the other day, for instance, I had a prom party. I was like, oh, cool, a prom party. That's awesome. Like fucking 40 kids or whatever coming in for a prom party, and they got stuff, and I got to set it up, and sweet. They get there, it's 40 kids with like Down syndrome, and and nothing against the kids. It was just like, holy shit, that's a lot of kids with problems, from one school. So I guess that was like, like the special class from that school had their own prom, which is fine. That's like, yes, we should help people. Yes, we should do stuff like that. I'm not saying that at all. Like, don't take that the wrong way. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's sad how many of them there are. It's sad to see so many kids who should be enjoying life, in a state of health and cognizance that they're just not able to enjoy. Anyway,
Honda, I sent you a picture on your phone, and where I came from in Salem, Oregon, the mayor, I used to work for her at her restaurant, and she has she's the mayor of Salem, Oregon, and she has a group called Unjected Salem, Oregon, Unvax Singles and Community, and they meet at her restaurant in the city. It's very interesting. I sent you a copy of it in case you want to go visit.
Very cool. Yeah, I see it. You'd like one thing that I was thinking, like, people our age, you'd occasionally see someone who's got like crazy problems. Like my school had, I think, 3,500 people, 4,000 people almost at one point, and we had a classroom probably about 20 or 30 kids, probably about 20 kids, who that was like the special ed class. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's acceptable, but like that was what was normal back then. Now I think it's, man, they have to have entire schools for it. Like a class at the school is not enough. And
that's sad because that's not how it used to be. And I have a special needs sister, or did until she passed away. But yeah, I mean, they always had one class, and the classes only had maybe 5 to 8 people at most. Every school we ever went to, because we grew up bouncing around from school to school, and so I got to see all of her classes every time and knew her teachers very well. And there wasn't very many kids. Now they have to have a dedicated school just for them. There's something fishy going on, and something in the water.
Well, I'm 45 years old almost, bro. Like, I'm about to be 5 years old. And when I was a kid, I think there was like 6 or 8 or something like that shots that you would have to take. Like there's 6 or 8 different vaccines that there were. Now there's like 30. I don't know, man. Like we give kids, when you're born, you get a shot for hepatitis.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't need all that.
Why would you need a shot for hepatitis when you're born?
You have the mother's immunity and all that stuff when you're born.
Well, if the only reason that you could possibly need a shot for hepatitis the moment you're born is if your mother has hepatitis.
Right.
And you can test for that. And yet they just give it to everybody. Because At some point, someone approved it somewhere, and someone in some company was like, "Oh shit, we should try to make this mandatory. Let's go to all of the hospitals and all of the different health agencies, and we'll just make this the normal thing that you do." Because it got approved, so now we're just going to give it to kids, so all the kids can have all of the vaccines. We're just going to put all the vaccines in all the kids all the time, and we're going to go to the schools, and we're going to make sure that the schools require that all of your shots are up to date. Because if they're not, then you can't get registered, and you have to have exemptions, and that's a pain in the ass. We're going to make it a pain in the ass for anyone who doesn't want to get the shots. And then it turns out, like, oh, measles, mumps, rubella. Okay, measles is going around. Oh, that's terrible. Everyone's going to get measles. That's weird because it seems like a bunch of kids are probably going to be protected from measles, right? Because you've got the shot. Well, actually, it only works if everyone gets the shot. What do you mean it only works if everyone gets? So if you have the measles shot and you get exposed to measles, you can still catch measles? Yes, actually, that's true, because what we actually show in the studies is there's no double blind study, and we produce our own evidence and our own stuff to the government, and all of these things are fucking true, dude. Like, we need to stop. And I fought against this with my kids at the fucking doctor's office every single fucking time, because they'd be like, "Oh, we want to give him a bunch of shots," and I'd be like, "What shots are we giving him this time?" And we're like, "Oh, we'll just give them to you, and then I'll tell you about them." Like, no. You're gonna tell me about them. You're gonna give me the fucking the paperwork. You're gonna explain to me why we need this. And I refused shots at one point, and everyone threw a fit. They threw a fucking fit. Like I just fucking stomped on a baby's face intentionally.
Yeah, medical field, they force you to take them or you can't work. I had to get a bunch of shots when I was going through EMT school. I had to be up to date.
Bro, they did that at the liquor store. You couldn't work at a liquor store if you didn't have the shots.
It's because they knew that you
had to work.
Well, not only that, it was a lot of other things too. But with the kids and them forcing them on the kids, it's because so many of these doctors get kickbacks per shot, is what it is.
Yeah, there's that, and there's other things too.
Yeah.
It's the push for fucking vaccines constantly.
That's why when you always see like a doctor being like, "Oh, would you like to get your yearly flu shot?" and it's like, "No," and then they ask you again before they finish up the appointment, and then they ask you again as you're leaving, and I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Since they don't really get the flu ever, no, I don't need that.
Right, and I don't know. Every time I've ever gotten the flu vaccine, I always got the fucking flu.
I've never got the flu vaccine.
I think I got it once. And I got the flu right after that.
I caught swine flu, and I don't get the flu anymore. So,
well, I used to have to take it, like I said, for school. So that's the only reason I took it. Once I was done with school, I never took it again.
You're gonna turn. You're gonna be one of them.
I got strep throat so many times as a kid that my mom got tired of taking me to the doctor at a point, and she just like let me be sick for like 3 weeks. Not her fault. She was a single mom. Like shit sucked. But I naturally fought off strep throat after 3 weeks. My body was just like, and got over it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm immune to strep throat.
That's
no,
good.
I'm serious. People have it. They'll cough on me. Like, it bounces off of me now. Like, my body's just like, and fucking fights it out.
That's actually pretty awesome.
So here's someone showing up to Nick Fuentes' house because someone doxed Nick Fuentes, and I'm not saying that I agree with what he says because there's a lot of stuff that he says that I disagree with, to be honest. So there's that. But I also support in America one's right to say things that are unpopular, one's right to say things that people disagree with, one's right to say things that are perhaps going to get them attacked. Usually with other words, usually by people in public saying, actually, you're wrong and you're stupid and here's why. Not literally showing up to your house with guns and a crossbow.
Jesus.
So this guy shows up, rings the doorbell. Of course, he doesn't come to the door. He calls the police. The police show up. The part that's not on the video is when the police show up, he points guns at them, and this guy is no longer on this earth.
Wow. What a moron.
Yeah, he brought a crossbow to
gunfight.
I guess it's just what you have. I don't know. That's what you got, right?
I'm surprised didn't stand his ground and shoot
people, man.
Didn't that guy actually kill 2 other people too?
What's the story?
Yeah, I think he had killed 2 people before or after that happened.
Lunatic showed up to the house, killing several dogs, and died from police rescue. He killed dogs.
Oh, okay, dogs.
Good. I'm glad the cops killed him. Fucking shooting and killing dogs, is a piece of shit.
Well, that's better than killing people.
What is he doing? What's the point?
Well, he's been programmed, Zarati.
Brainwashed.
He's been programmed. He's been programmed just to say, "Oh, you are one of the people who says the things that I do not like. Therefore, you are a Nazi or whatever. Therefore, me killing you is a good thing."
I don't know, man. I don't like people every day, but I don't have any desire to show up at their house with any sort of weaponry and take them out.
Yeah,
even if I don't have a gun and all I have is a sword, I'm not going to go to your house with a sword and wait for you to open the door so I can cut your head off. Like, that's just absurd. It's absurd.
Well, you have not been programmed. Congratulations.
Self-preservation. Like, I know that I'm going to die if I do this. At what point do you think, I have 14 guns. I'm going to take all 14 guns to this gunfight and somehow win? Like, no, you're not.
I was thinking about this. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
Well, that's it. I'm done. You're not going to win. Like, why?
So why do we keep seeing, and this isn't an example of that, obviously, but we keep seeing trans shooters. This happens, I'm not going to say that often, but it seems like a disproportionate number of trans shooters or trans murderers have been in the news of recent. Maybe it's just my news feed. I don't have any statistics on this, but I've noticed that it's happened multiple times.
Right.
And I have a theory as to why. Well, what is one of the things that goes along with being trans? Suicide. They have one of the highest suicide. It's like the highest suicide rate of any group of anybody on the planet or something like that, if I remember correctly. Right? Now, you could just kill yourself, as one does, or one might want to go out in a blaze of glory, in which case, showing up to someone's doorstep, you say your life's forfeit. Well, they kind of have already agreed to that. They kind of want that. They're kind of already leaning that way, you know? So when it happens, they're like, oh, thank God. That's my theory. I don't know. I could be wrong.
That's wild.
Who the fuck knows, to be honest?
I don't know. I think like the trans people I've met that I know personally have put themselves in a place of debt to the point where they're taking out a GoFundMe and begging for money for people to take care of them because they spent too much money on their surgery and they can't take care of themselves. And that's absurd. Like, what?
Yeah,
what?
that's fucking stupid.
That's I didn't know that was a thing.
It's insane. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not going to give you money because you spent your money to get the parts that you didn't have. And like, two, like, no, get a job. Like, don't ask people for money. Get a job. Like, just, work. Do something with yourself.
Well, my whole thing is like, you want to be trans? Fine, be trans. You want to pay for surgery? Fine, pay for surgery. You want to do all these? You want to take hormones? Go ahead, take hormones. But you should have to pay for them if you want to take them. And you should not be giving them to children. And in fact, you should be kept away from children. Like that whole ideology in general, as much as possible, to not influenceable people like children into becoming something that they will later regret. Because I don't know how many stories there are, but there's not zero stories of people who were like, yeah, I got tricked into cutting my breasts off or having a sex change. I got a bottom surgery. Now I've got a vagina that's just a stinky hole. You know, like all of these stories of this shit. I'm not making it up. Like I've heard them, and I kind of wish I hadn't.
Yeah, there was this one chick from Canada that sat down with some reporter a few years ago that said she never belonged into a particular group, and then, taking all the hormones and doing the necessary steps to change their sex, which can't be done. But she just woke up one day and realized, this is stupid. What am I doing? And now she's ostracized by even the group, the LGBTQ community, and he's just a pariah, basically. And her mental illness is bad because of it all. And two, none of it's reversible. She cut her breast off and regrets it.
Or even just going on hormones, dude. Like if you go on hormone blockers when you're in the process of going through puberty, there's no reversing that. You're not getting those years back. It's not like you're going to get off the hormone blockers and suddenly you're just going to like pick up puberty where you left off. No, you just don't have puberty then. You destroyed your puberty. There's stories of people who will never be able to ejaculate because they didn't go through puberty correctly. There's people whose genitalia were like stuck in fucking like 7-year-old mode or whatever, because they never went through puberty. So they just got like this little tiny thing or whatever. Like, it's like you fuck them up forever. Like, stay away from kids. Keep your claws off of them. If they decide once they're 18 that that's what they want to do, they can join your weird little club and I won't say shit about it.
And furthermore, don't have other people call you something you're not, because not all of us believe that. And as a constitutionalist, in a way, I'm sorry, but I have freedom of speech too,
right.
And I'm not going to call you something that you're not. I know how to use my words. You're not a them. You're not a they. You're not a male or female. You can't change your bone structure. It's in your bones, bro. Can't change your bone structure.
Well, the other thing about that, you've given me every weapon to destroy you. Like, you've told me exactly what it is. Here's the word that I can say that's going to just like make you lose control. So at any point in an argument, I could just be like, chill out, bro. It's fucking over. And that's it. That's all That's such a weak position. You should get stronger. Okay.
This is also why you have so many kids now that have detransitioned and are suing the medical industry, because it's the medical industry that's sterilizing them.
Wait, what is it called? Detransition? What is that?
Yeah, it's where basically these kids that wake up and realize, oh, I actually was born a girl and I'm living a girl now.
Yeah, they go back to their original born gender.
Chloe Cole
the story I was talking about, she detransitioned and now she's just a pariah, not accepted anywhere.
Because she cut it off and got it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's sad because more and more people are detransitioning, and that the group they were part of, the LGBT community, now they don't accept them, recognize them. They treat them like dog shit because they rope rank essentially, and the medicines that they have to take and everything already fuck with their head enough, their mental state. And then you add that on top of it, that's enough alone just to make someone snap.
All right, I don't care about trannies anymore. Check this out. President Trump has vowed to revoke the citizenship of any naturalized immigrant from Somalia or anywhere else who's been convicted of defrauding our citizens. So if you're one of these Somalian pirates who's in wherever fucking running leering centers and doing things, and you're, I'm a naturalized citizen, so the worst you can do is put me in prison. No. We're gonna send your ass back, and I support this. What do you guys think?
I support it too.
He needs to start here in Ohio. Ismail Mohammed and Marina Abduli, they're two Somalis in our state house right now that are 100% involved in the fraud, specifically the Medicaid fraud that recently came out here in the billions.
Nice.
Well, I mean, if he goes through with this, and Ilhan Omar gets convicted of fraud through her Feeding America scheme or whatever that was, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Then technically she could lose her immigration status and be deported, and that would be the funniest thing that happens this entire presidency.
It's not going to happen here in Minnesota because we aren't going to support it, even though it's true, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, because if you guys if the Fed keeps sending ICE up here, they're going to, use the state guard to come against ICE. So it's pretty much a done deal. So
Well,
not every state's going to go with it.
We kind of had a fight about states' rights already in this country. And the end result of the fight about who has supremacy, the states or the federal government, was answered. And the answer is not the state. I mean, we could have that argument again, but it was probably a bad thing to do the first time, and I would advise against having that argument in this country again.
Well, the big thing too in this case is all Trump has to do is enacting it or invoke the Insurrection Act, and Minnesota Garden is now under his control.
Right. Now, if Elon Omar got, sent back because of all this we're talking about, would that mean her brother/husband go too? Because she married her brother to get him to come over. That she already did fraud there.
I think they've got a time limit because if first of all, the midterms, that seems to have been solved, or at least I don't know, because it was looking like the Democrats were going to take the House, maybe not the Senate, but the House in the midterm elections.
Uh-huh.
And then they did this whole redistricting thing where the Democrats were like, yo, we want to redistrict and we want to do this. And the courts slapped down their previous redistricting, saying that it was based upon racial lines, which is unconstitutional, and they have to redraw the lines. Mm-hmm. And so all of these states that have previously been like, yeah, we're primarily red, but we've got some blue spots, are like, oh, cool. Get rid of those blue spots.
Right.
There was a lot of insane stuff going on in Virginia too this past couple of weeks now. You had
hold on. I wasn't done. So they were like, oh, gerrymandering is bad. That's bad to do. And well, okay, here's the rules of gerrymandering. And then you look at the Northeast, where I think it's Connecticut has something like 45% of the population of Connecticut votes Republican, and they have 0 Republican representation. And this is true in Maine. This is true in New York. This is true in New Jersey. This is true in New Hampshire. This is true in Connecticut. This is true in Maryland. This is true. All of these states are already gerrymandered to the max, where they have 40% Republican voters and 0 Republican representation. So you're like, oh, you can't gerrymander, even though we already did. Sorry, bud, you fucking set the rules of the game. We're just playing fucking game theory now. You set the rules of the game. We're going to play the game. We're going to fucking win.
Right.
So they played the game, and now it seems like they're going to pick up enough seats in the House just through gerrymandering, by playing by the rules, like it or not, that the Democrats have no chance of winning the midterm election. 0 chance.
Good.
So I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but there are some things in effect where it's basically saying that if it doesn't matter if it's a president or a government or an official tells somebody who's sworn an oath to the Constitution to do something that they do not believe is constitutionally correct, that legally they have the right to not do it and to support what the Constitution actually says. So that being said, I know that you're saying they can just do insurrection acts, but that's not necessarily going to fly if everybody in Minnesota says, no, I'm not going to come against Minnesotans. And I'm not defending the state at all. But what I am saying is that, you can't force somebody to break the law if they feel like you're breaking the law or breaking the Constitution. They have the right to say, no, I'm not going to do that. You're wrong. And to defend that other stance. That is coming into play now in multiple situations. So look that up for next time, maybe.
What's that called? I forget. It's nullification or something.
I know it's
that could go along with all the anti-gun laws and stuff too.
Well, yeah, and that's where I've heard that argument used before. Is in gun communities talking about Second Amendment unconstitutional fucking laws, where it's
Ohio to know what this is.
Are you talking about Marbury versus Madison?
No, it's all laws that are contrary to the Constitution.
That's what Marbury versus Madison is.
Okay.
It's basically what it was. Is it was 2 founding fathers. It was Madison and it was Marbury. And you had the actual court case be, if anything can be looked at and deemed as unconstitutional, it should be looked at as if it was never written in the first place, which could basically nullify Biden's entire administration at this point, everything he did in that 4 years.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, man, like, I feel like the Constitution has failed us, because the way that the Constitution like sets the government up is not the way the government set up, right? The way that they pass laws was not the way that they intended it to work. The way that like the Federal Reserve Bank subverts the Senate's right to coin money, because that power was given to them, and they superseded that power to the Federal Reserve Bank, who answers to no one, who's privately owned, who's never been audited, who et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Like there's all of these things that are within the country, within the current structure of the country. And that's not Biden, that's not Trump, that's not even like Clinton, you know, like that's just the way things have developed over the years and grown underneath our feet in the country that we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the environment that we're in now is contrary to the Constitution. So does the Constitution still apply really? In some ways, no. In some ways, yes. Right? Like we're supposed to have freedom of speech. I mean, did we really have that during COVID? No. Did we? No, we didn't.
Hell no.
I know for a fact that we didn't, because I was specifically stifled in my speech by the government on behalf of YouTube to fucking strike my channel down and make me go on to fucking another website for a while and do all these things and come back like with a quarter of the people watching. It's not like I've changed. It's not like my message has changed. I mean, I don't really have a message. I just talk about shit that I fucking think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it's coming up
with the problem is thinking. Like they don't want you to think. The critical thinking is like against the rules. Like sharing facts. It's not disinformation. No, wait. There was like misinformation and disinformation. And disinformation can be information that's true, but just happens to be counter to the narrative of the current administration. So I'm guilty of spreading disinformation, which is truth that they don't want to hear. And they've labeled me as such. And that's fine if we live in a country that doesn't have a constitution. But since we do, someone needs to be held accountable for that. And since there's no one to be, you know, who do I hold accountable? Oh, we've got Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act that keeps any kind of provider from actually being... Well, as far as I'm concerned, YouTube is not protected by that. I think like Quest, like my internet provider who gives me the internet to get onto YouTube should be protected in that method, right? Because they shouldn't be able to be like, oh, you're anti-Jewish, therefore like we're going to cut off your internet. We're not going to allow you internet access because you don't like what's going on in Ukraine or something, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if you say certain things on YouTube, they can do that, and they're protected by the Telecommunications Act. That doesn't make fucking sense to me at all, because they're not actually a provider. They're a website. They're a fucking website that talks about providing free speech, and yet at every fucking corner they curtail it. And then here's another thing about YouTube that really pisses me off too. It really pisses. You see all these people who get huge on YouTube out of nowhere, and it's like they're appealing to people with autism. You can tell. They're like they have these videos that are I don't know how to explain it. There's just like this autistic way of like showing something where the autists are just going to be like, yo, I'm mesmerized, and watch the whole video, and then the fucking algorithm's like, hey, look at all these people watching this video, so I'm going to push all these like weird fucking videos forward. And then at the same time, they're transcribing videos from other languages and making them available to everybody. So now I've got all these weird fucking like AI like voiceover Taiwanese fucking boat videos showing up in my feed for some fucking reason that I never wanted to watch in the first place, but you're shoving it down my fucking throat. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's all the AI slop.
Anyway, I'm on one tonight, man. I've been on one tonight. Sorry I didn't do a show last week, by the way, everybody. Kind of kind of fucked around and found out. And I was working on my bike and stuff. And actually, I got a new parking spot, as gay as this sounds. It's pretty awesome in the parking lot. So there was like the maintenance guy who lived here forever, who finally moved out, who had the primo best parking spot in the entire parking lot, because it's got like a covering over it. And it's only one spot, but it almost could be enough room for 2 cars, so you can put stuff around it. So I can park both my bikes there, and I can put all my tools in the back of the RAV4 and pull it forward like 2 feet and have like a little spot, like a garage, to work on my shit. And I could put a fucking trailer back there, like a little folding trailer, so I could do traveling and stuff. Oh my God, it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like having a garage. I just don't have like doors. But like it's got a light, it's got covering, it's got shade. I don't get rained on. Everyone else gets snow all over their car. I don't. I just drive away.
So you have a carport?
Yeah. Well, there's other car spots that have carports, but like mine could fit 2 spots and it only has 1. Theirs has 2. So they have to like effectively share the amount of space that I have with another car, and I don't. And I don't know how those lines got drawn, but I'm with it.
Yeah, right. I'd be stoked for that shit too.
Well, all right, everybody. It's been a fun chat. We've been going almost 2 hours now, which is a little bit longer than we normally go for the Gay Frog chat.
Hey, it was a good chat, though. I mean,
but I do appreciate you guys being here, everyone in the chat, especially for the disagreements. I really do appreciate it. Believe it or not, I really do value hearing the other side. I value knowing, because like I have blind spots. There's things that I don't know. There's things that I don't consider. And even if I still at the end of the conversation think that there's things that I'm right about, I'm always open to being wrong. And I hope you take our arguments or discussions in the context of this chat in light of that. And I love you.
Later, peeps.
Peace out.
All right, guys.
Much love.
Deuces, y'all. Shut up, Ian Fridge, Stupid Shop, and to pressure Batacath care. Prick the troops. 2 words, made in America. And we'll see you all next time. Deuces.